If you've never been to 7 Leaves, I highly recommend getting their house coffee with easy ice. Probably one of my favorite coffees that I've ever had. Like, it's just such a good tasting coffee, man. My girlfriend surprised me this morning, so shout out to my girlfriend. Ladies and gentlemen, on today's agenda, I've been pushing this for so long and I've been so unmotivated to do it, but today's the day. We're gonna do a lower leg service on my forks. I've done a few of these before, but I've never done it with one hand, so it should be very interesting. I have 2 assumptions of what's gonna go down. One, I'm gonna be really impressed with myself and this is gonna go extremely smooth and I'll be happy, or this is gonna go extremely bad. I'm gonna be frustrated and I'm probably gonna not accomplish this. So there's 2 outcomes. We're gonna test the waters and see which one we get. The best way to service your fork is to remove them completely off your bike. It's what works for me, and personally it's been a lot easier to work with the forks by themselves. Next up, we're gonna remove our caliper. I like to leave the hardware in so that way I don't lose it or misplace it. It just stays on the fork. With all my cables and wires, I like to zip tie them to the frame. There it is. Bam. Normally you're supposed to check the air pressure of the fork before you release the air, but I usually run it from like 70 to 90. So I already know what pressure I run, so I don't need to check it. But if you're someone that's never checked it, I highly recommend doing so. You know, a lot of you might be wondering if whether or not a guy with a fractured wrist should even be servicing his forks. But to be quite honest, that's besides the point. We're here right now, we're getting stuff done, and that's what matters. If there's anything you guys take away from this video, I want it to be some inspiration, because if a guy with one hand can service his forks, then any one of you guys out there can do the same. The lower legs can be a struggle to get off. So what I do is I usually screw on the bolts, not all the way, just enough to where they're in there, but like I said, not all the way. And then I get myself a mallet, tap it, and that usually releases the lower legs. Like so. Like so. You want to make sure you have a drip pan, because if not, you're gonna ruin your floors. Get yourself a flathead. Look at how black this thing was, man. You gotta do the other side. These are the products that I use whenever I do a service. Suspension cleaner from RockShox, and then this is the oil that we're gonna be using. It's OW30, and I got the 1 liter of it. I would say this stuff is almost identical to brake cleaner, what mechanics usually use. I use this grease for my fork, the Clean 100% clear bike grease. It's fully waterproof, non-toxic, odor-free, used on bearings, threads, seat post pedals, bottom brackets. I've been using this and it's been pretty good. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna soak the foam rings in fork oil for, I usually do it for like 15 minutes. And what I do is I cut up a water bottle, make sure it's dry, doesn't have any water, and then I pour some fork oil and let the foam rings soak up. So after you soak them, you just place them in your lower legs. Boom, boom. After you put your foam rings in, you get these guys. They basically sit on top of the foam ring. They come with grease already in them, but I like to smother it a bit more, and then I just clean off the excess. Take this off so you don't damage it. Boom. I think this tool is like 15 bucks or 12 bucks, I'm not sure. Highly recommend getting it. It's gonna make your life a lot easier when you're doing this this job. And then you repeat the process for the other leg, and then you got to make sure to put those springs back onto the seals. I like to give my forks a bit of grease, help them out. This is probably my least favorite part, like putting the forks back. It's always a tedious process. It's just you gotta finagle your way in. Make sure you don't damage anything. Boom. There we go. Every fork that you service is different and takes different amounts of oil, so you definitely want to read up on like the owner's manual and try to get an exact number of how much oil you should be putting in your fork. I've done multiple lower leg services on my fork, so I kind of memorize how much I need just by looking at the syringe. But yeah, definitely find the amount that your fork requires. So you don't want to push your forks all the way in. Kind of want to leave a little bit of room inside of there so that the oil can sit. I don't own a torque wrench, and I probably should, because I could use it right now in this instance to torque down the bolts. But the logic I've been using since I don't have a torque wrench is I just tighten things till it's snug, and then I ride it, I inspect it, and if I feel like I need to tighten it more, then I go ahead and tighten it more, because the last thing you want to do is to over torque something, snap a bolt, and then your day's ruined. So it's better to just get it snug, inspect it after a few rides or after one ride, and then if you feel like it needs to be tightened more, just go ahead and tighten it. I've been using that method for a while now. I should probably definitely get a torque wrench, but it is what it is. Now the fun part begins of putting everything back together. It's finished. Lower leg service with a fractured arm. Went pretty well. I'm very stoked that I got this done though, because I had been pushing this aside for so long, and today was just the day. You know, I had some free time. Everything feels pretty dialed. I won't know until I actually take it on a trail, then I can adjust the air. All in all, I think we're solid, and I can't wait to dig it out. But ladies and gents, I hope you guys enjoyed. That's gonna wrap up this video, but I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.